It's 1750. You're lying on a wooden table. There's no anesthesia in the room, because anesthesia doesn't exist yet, not for another 100 years. The surgeon picks up his knife, and you are about to feel every single second of what happens next. So ask yourself the question nobody wants to sit with. How did anyone survive surgery before painkillers existed? Not survive the disease, survive the cure. The first answer people guess is alcohol. But enough alcohol to actually dull surgical pain is close to enough to kill a person outright. So most of the time, surgeons didn't even try. Which means the patient was awake, fully awake, for the entire procedure. So if you can't numb the body, the only thing left to control is time. The fastest surgeons in history could amputate a leg in under 60 seconds. Not because they were reckless, because every extra second was a second the patient had to endure consciously, held down by other men in the room, because there was no other way to keep them still. But speed created a new problem. A surgeon racing the clock made mistakes. Mistakes meant blood loss, and blood loss, combined with a body in shock from unrelieved pain, was often more dangerous than the original injury. There was no winning move, only which risk you were willing to take. Some bit down on leather straps. Some were told to pray out loud through the entire procedure. Not for comfort, but because a steady voice was the only way surgeons could track if the patient was still conscious enough to hold still. Then, in the 1840s, ether changed everything. For the first time in history, a patient could be unconscious. Surgeons who had spent their careers racing the clock suddenly had time to be careful, time to be precise. The single biggest leap in surgical skill didn't come from a smarter surgeon. It came from silence finally entering the room. So the next time you go under anesthesia without a second thought, remember what that silence replaced. Not comfort, survival.